Ever get that feeling like you're on a treadmill? Putting in the effort, but not really going anywhere.
Yeah, like life's just happening around you, but you feel kind of stuck in neutral.
Exactly. Well, our source material today dives headfirst into that very feeling. It explores positive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but not as some, well, airy-fairy concept. More like a concrete way to unlock your potential. Maybe even tackle goals that seem, miles out of reach.
And the source itself, it's basically a conversation, right, between two friends, Alex and Jordan.
Right. Jordan's grappling with a lot of self-doubt, those negative thoughts we all get.
And Alex is kind of guiding him through the basics, the principles of positive thinking.
So our goal here in this deep dive is to pull out the really actionable stuff, the strategies, maybe some surprising insights from their chat about how it works.
Like a shortcut to understanding the core ideas and how you might actually use them.
Yeah, get straight to the core. So thinking back to Jordan's feeling, have you ever felt that way, like stuck in a rut despite trying? This conversation might offer a new perspective.
So where does Alex start? How does he begin to shift Jordan's thinking? It really centers around mindset, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Alex's first point really reframes what positive thinking even is. It's definitely not about, sticking your head in the sand and ignoring problems.
No, not at all. Alex stresses it's more about your underlying belief. Your belief in your own ability to influence what happens next.
Yeah.
It's that crucial shift, isn't it? From feeling like life is something that's just happening to you.
This is happening to me, yeah.
To a more empowered view, like, okay, this is happening for me. Seeing yourself as an active player.
And it's not just a mental game, is it? Alex suggests this shift in belief can actually cause, real-world changes.
That part really struck me.
Yeah, what's interesting is how that core belief can genuinely affect your energy levels. I mean, think about it.
If you believe you can actually make a difference, you're going to approach things with more vigor, right?
Right, naturally.
And that extra energy, it fuels different actions. You're more likely to take the initiative, maybe keep going when things get tough.
And you might spot opportunities you'd otherwise miss if you were feeling sort of bogged down.
Exactly. It's like changing the filter on your camera lens. You just see the world differently.
That makes a lot of sense. The negative thoughts kind of put blinders on, and believing you have influence takes them off. And Alex even mentions that our brains aren't stuck being negative forever.
Yeah, he touches on neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to actually rewire itself, form new connections.
Right.
So that repeated effort, shifting from doubt to belief, it can literally pave new pathways in your brain. It makes positive thinking feel more, automatic over time.
Okay.
And he makes a key point. It's not about some huge overnight leap. It's about consistently nudging your thoughts. Like learning an instrument practice makes it flow.
Now, I can imagine some people hearing this, maybe like Jordan at the start, thinking, okay, optimism sounds a bit, unrealistic.
Yeah, the worry that expecting good things just sets you up for a bigger disappointment when inevitably things don't go perfectly.
Right.
That's a totally fair concern. And Alex addresses it pretty carefully. He makes this distinction between two kinds of optimism.
Okay.
There's what he calls blind optimism, just kind of hoping everything will be fine without much basis.
Right. Wishful thinking.
Exactly. And then there's what he terms empowered optimism.
Empowered optimism. Okay, that sounds different. How's that distinct?
Well, it's not about ignoring that things can go wrong. It's grounded in a different belief. Whatever happens, I'll handle it.
Okay. Less about the outcome, more about your ability to cope.
Precisely. It's not guaranteeing sunshine, but it's a deep confidence in your own resilience, your ability to adapt, to navigate the challenges. It focuses on your response.
Like steering the ship through the storm, not just hoping the storm disappears.
That's a great way to put it. It's about inner strength, resourcefulness. And to really bring this point home, Alex talks about comeback stories. You see this pattern everywhere, don't you? Athletes, entrepreneurs, people overcoming trauma.
Yeah.
That basic belief that things could get better, even when it looked impossible, that seems to be the common thread, that little seed of hope, plus the grit to keep pushing.
Okay, so we're getting the why, how it shifts perspective, fuels action. But then Jordan asks the really crucial practical question, how? How do you actually start doing it? How do you rewire those negative thoughts that feel so automatic?
And this is where Alex offers some really solid, actionable tools. This is the gold, really, for someone wanting to make a change. First up, thought catching.
Okay, thought catching. Let's break that down. It's about becoming aware of those negative loops in our head.
Exactly. Step one is just noticing. Become an observer of your own thoughts. Those automatic negative reactions, I always mess up, I'm not smart enough. Alex suggests actually writing them down. But then the really important second step, challenge them.
Challenge their validity.
Yeah. Ask yourself, is this always true? Like always. What's the actual evidence? Often, you find the evidence is pretty thin or just not there for such an absolute statement.
That feels really proactive. Taking back some control instead of letting them run wild. Okay, what's tool number 2?
Tool number 2, gratitude practice. Now, this might sound simple, maybe even a bit cliche to some.
Yeah, you hear it a lot.
But it's incredibly effective as a daily habit. Alex suggests consciously writing down, say, 3 things you're genuinely grateful for each day.
And they don't have to be huge things.
Not at all. He emphasizes that. It could be tiny, that first cup of coffee, a warm bed, a quick supportive text from a friend, anything.
And how does that little act actually shift the bigger picture?
Well, what it does gradually is retrain your brain. You start actively scanning your world for the positives, however small. It's like you're deliberately tuning in to the good stuff, which naturally counteracts that tendency we have to fixate on what's wrong. You're choosing a different frequency, you know.
I like that, a conscious recalibration. Okay, tool number 3.
Tool 3 is positive input. Alex uses a really good analogy here. He compares your mind to a garden.
A garden, okay.
And he asks, essentially, what seeds are you planting? Are you constantly feeding it negative news, getting sucked into complaints, gossip, that kind of thing?
Or are you actively looking for empowering stuff? Books, podcasts, positive people?
Exactly. He calls the negative stuff a garden of garbage.
Oof. Yeah, that image really sticks with you.
It really does. It highlights how much we're affected by the information diet we choose. You can't expect healthy thoughts if you're constantly consuming negativity. It's about being intentional, selective.
Makes sense. And the 4th tool?
The final one is affirmation plus action. Now, this isn't just repeating positive phrases passively.
Not just mantras.
No. It's a 2-step process. First, you state a belief you want to embody, like, I am capable.
Okay.
But then, and this is key, you immediately follow that affirmation with a small, concrete action that reinforces it.
Like what?
Like tackling a task you've been avoiding because you felt incapable.
So you're proving the affirmation to yourself through action, putting your money where your mouth is, basically.
Precisely. Alex really highlights the synergy there. The thought sets the intention, the action provides the proof. You're building evidence for your new belief with your own behavior.
It's one thing to hear about the tools, but Alex also gives some really powerful real-world examples. People who use this thinking to do pretty amazing things. Let's talk about Jim Carrey first.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey story is wild, isn't it? The sheer audacity of his belief.
Writing himself that $10 million check.
For acting services rendered, yeah.
Wow.
Years before he was making anything like that. Dating it 5 years ahead, carrying it with him, visualizing it constantly.
It really shows the power of setting a super clear intention and just holding on to that belief, even when reality looks totally different.
And the fact that it actually happened pretty much exactly 5 years later when he got paid $10 million for Dumb and Dumber, I mean, it's astonishing.
It really hammers home that idea of believing in the seemingly impossible.
It really does. And the second example, Sophia, the single mom, that's powerful too, but maybe in a more relatable, everyday struggle kind of way.
Yeah, her story highlights the resilience, the determination that comes from that positive inner voice, even when things are incredibly tough and people are telling you it can't be done.
Definitely. Raising 3 kids alone, no support, cleaning houses, studying online. You can see why people might have said her goals were unrealistic.
Absolutely.
But her affirmation, I'm building a new life, combined with just relentless action day after day.
It worked. She built her own business, became a speaker.
Yeah. It's such a clear example of how that internal belief, when you act on it consistently, can overcome huge obstacles.
And Alex points out the common factor in both stories.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the belief. It was the consistent action that followed, not just wishing.
That's such a critical point. Positive thinking isn't magic on its own. It's the catalyst. It sparks the possibility, but it's the sustained effort, the action that actually makes it real.
Okay, but even with the best mindset, life happens. Right. Curveballs get thrown. What about setbacks? How does positive thinking help then?
Right, because setbacks are inevitable, and this is where persistence is absolutely key. Alex makes it clear. Positive thinking isn't about being perfectly happy and optimistic 2, 3, 4, 7.
It's not about being Pollyanna.
Not at all. It's about how you respond when things go sideways. Are you willing to keep trying? Do you see a setback as a final failure or just a bump in the road? Maybe even something to learn from.
He uses the analogy of learning to ride a bike, right?
Exactly. You're going to wobble. You'll probably fall, maybe a few times. But the key is getting back on, keep pedaling. Focus on progress, not perfection. The slips are just part of learning. It's the commitment to keep going that matters.
So eventually, it's not just something you're trying to do, making a conscious effort all the time. It becomes more ingrained, part of who you are.
That's how Alex describes the transition. You move from consciously applying these techniques to it becoming, more integral. It starts shaping how you approach things naturally, how you show up, how you lead.
Less like using tools, more like just being that way.
Yeah, a more intuitive way of operating in the world.
And that shift brings a real sense of personal power, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's realizing you're not just passively reacting to thoughts or circumstances. You have agency. You can choose your mindset, and by doing that, actively shape your reality.
It's empowering.
Very. And Alex makes that point. This power isn't something external you need to find. It's already inside you, just waiting to be claimed, really.
Near the end, Alex leads Jordan through a really practical exercise, too, to kind of cement these ideas.
Yeah, creating a personal purpose statement. Using the prompt, I am becoming the kind of person who...
Right, it's about defining who you aspire to be.
Exactly, defining those qualities you want to live by.
And Jordan's example was, I am becoming the kind of person who believes in myself no matter what. Simple, but powerful.
It really is. And then the next step Alex suggested was crucial.
Which was?
Picking just one small, manageable thing to do daily that aligns with that purpose.
Okay, like what Jordan chose.
Yeah. Jordan decided to focus on catching and reframing just one negative thought each day. Just one.
It really highlights that idea of starting small, building momentum, progress over perfection, like you said, Alex mentioned.
Precisely. Those tiny, consistent actions, even just flipping one thought a day, they create this positive feedback loop. Each little win reinforces the mindset, makes the next step easier.
So this whole deep dive, this conversation between Alex and Jordan, it really boils down to one core message, doesn't it?
I think so. Alex's main point is incredibly empowering.
Okay.
You don't need to wait for life to get easier. The real breakthrough happens when you start believing you're stronger than your struggles.
Believing in your ability to handle things. That's the turning point.
That's the real breakthrough, yeah.
And I love Jordan's final thought. Time to rewrite the story, one thought at a time. It captures that ongoing nature of it.
It really does. It's not a quick fix. It's a continuous journey, consciously shaping that inner narrative, one thought, one step at a time.
And Alex leaves us with that really bold statement. Once you master your thoughts, you unlock your potential. And once you unlock that, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, you can't do. It's quite something.
It's a huge claim, for sure, but it flows logically from everything they discussed, right? Control your inner world, and your ability to impact the outer world just expands massively.
So as you're thinking about all this, maybe consider, what's just one small thought you could choose to believe about yourself starting right now, today? And what single tiny action could you take, maybe even later today, to start proving that thought true? It really is about rewriting your story, one thought, one action at a time.